Running over someone in a wheelchair while blood spews all over the place is something I thought we would never see, especially in this politically correct era, but well, Carmageddon Max Damage. Yes, the game series which started back in '97 has returned, and with great impact, at one point being banned in multiple countries, censored, and having lots of tough sanctions, and low review scores from many major outlets. With all of these factors, nothing could stop the behemoth which would eventually turn into a beloved series. It was a time where games were transitioning from 2D to 3D games, and people were realising the potential of having a big world where you could do wherever the fuck you wanted. Now almost 20 years later, the cult classic Carmageddon has returned to our very consoles yet again in another attempt to offend as many people as possible. Or at least it feels like. This particular version, Carmageddon Max Damage, is more based on the N64 and PlayStation 1 versions of this series, but with some fresh changes. So let's dig a little more into what Carmageddon is. So Carmageddon could be defined as an arcade racer with lots of game modes. There's mostly three main types though: checkpoint racing, demolition, where you have to blow each other up, and of course the good old run over every pedestrians. So moving on, there's a few more things which I like on this game. In each of the maps there's collectibles. You gotta find smelly bushes, which are basically dog tags, and they allow you to unlock different kind of paint jobs and upgrade tokens. Now with the upgrade tokens, there's a nice upgrade system to the game where you can make your car better by getting a certain amount of tokens and then spending them on better upgrades. Of course, there is no actual visual changes to the upgrades, so that kind of puts a negative to it. There's also ability to buy boosts by using points. Now, I haven't covered points yet, so let's go and do it. So in the game, when you're crashing, bashing, running over people, you get points, and you can use those points to spend to repair your car, or buy abilities. And at the end, your maximum points, obviously if you spend money to repair your car, you lose points, you get a lower score, and if you spend the points to kind of buy boosts, you get a lower score too. So at the end of the races you get a total score, which you get a nice chart, and yeah, you get on the leaderboards then on multiplayer, and you can compare with all your friends and such. Moving on to the positives, we kind of the whole game kind of gives me the nostalgia feeling. It's kind of the sound effects, the whole feed into the game, because I used to play this game a lot on the N64. It was one of the games I played back in my childhood, and I know it's kind of an 18 plus game, but obviously I was a bit of a badass. I absolutely love their clever names as well, man. It makes me really laugh. Diana, Max Damage, and and all the other ones are kind of really funny. So there's their own characters to the game, and they all kind of got their unique vehicles, all with different attributes, and they're all kind of really wacky. It kind of reminds me of Twisted Metal. Now I love that game as well. Oh man, if only they brought that game out as well. Twisted Metal, eh? And with each of these cards you actually use their collectibles to unlock different vinyls as well. So yeah, the game is full of humour, lots of it. You got the track names, the pop-ups on the top of the screen, and just you'll see it. There's just so much humour involved in this game, as you can probably see from the video. This just kind of blows my mind, and it makes me laugh trying to play it. And there's lots of content as well. There's like 63 career races, and multiplayer mode means it can potentially be some longevity in this game, but obviously if you don't like it, then it's not going to last you very long. But of course, moving over to the flip side, the negatives, I just fear if you've not played any of the originals, you just may not get it at all. You just think, what the hell is this crap? You just might not get it. But I can assure you, if you do get it, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of mind-boggling, really. The only other bad thing, well, I say the only other, there's a few more other bad things I want to talk about, but the graphics is kind of more 360-esque. Now, I've heard the graphics were downgraded in this 1080 30 FPS because the system they're using if they did up the graphics and up the FPS, it would kind of take a toll on the Xbox One and PS4, so they had to kind of downgrade it to keep everything going well. And one of the other things I hate as well, when kind of death matches, all the enemies just decide to aim for you. It might as well be called you versus them, because they will just all hit you regardless. There could be enemies next to you, and they'll still hit you. I absolutely hate that in games, the AI, when they're just complete and utter twats. And also, there's been a moment of times where I press pause to go away and do something, and the pause screen is kind of buggy, so each time you press pause, sometimes it doesn't pause at all and it just keeps you going, and you're like, oh no. And there's been other times I press pause and unpause it and the grey dark screen kind of reminded. And starting up this game as well, I really hated the camera angle, but fortunately there's a way to change the camera angle, and I was so blessed by that. And another problem with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are the loading screens. They are so slow. I think it takes about a minute to load up, but I'll let you see on this right now. And the price of the game is $30 or £30, which I feel is kind of steep actually, you know. Maybe they should have truncated it a bit, but who am I to tell? And of course, back on the original Carmageddon, when you crashed into stuff, you had like an original portrait and user interface, which I absolutely love, but yeah, you can't see their portraits no more when you crash into things. I used to love that in the corner, seeing them go ha ha ha. But yeah, now I'm not sure if it was nostalgia for me or just plain stupidity, but I really do love this game. Although I feel the price hampers the justification. The game does feel like a classic, and I've missed this feeling where I haven't had in a lot of time. So I haven't had that feeling in a long time. Sure, the graphics are not the best. Sure, the game may be wacky, but for me, it's a pretty fun nostalgic trip down memory lane, and it's some of the spice we've missed in some of the modern day games where everything just seems to be blended in this one. So I give this game a 2.8 out of 5. If you want to understand the scoring system or want more reviews, check out thehiddenlevels.com. It's our hub for everything you can find at Twitch, Twitter, and more from just being on there. Feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up or down depending on if you enjoyed it. Thanks again guys, and I'll catch you all soon. Ta-ta!